Hello, beautiful people. My name is Naila, your host for the Art of Living show. Today, we are stepping into a home that's not just built, but crafted with soul and heart and a sprinkle of innovation. Our guest is a quantity surveyor. His towering ceilings are as impressive as his passion for Rumba. He is none other than David, aka Sacrinos. He invites us to his home, part 2 of his movie, Improvised Architecture, to have a look around and to have a conversation. Let's discover, explore, and engage.
Naila, welcome again to part 2 of the House of Sacrinos. This is the library of Sacrinos.
Okay.
I'm obsessed with naming things. So that is the Terrace of the Beloved.
All right.
That was the gallery.
Who's the beloved?
The Beloved are people who have frequented this house. And when you look at the grass, you can see their footpath. These are people who love this place. So in the interim period, it's me and my sons.
You know what is interesting about you as a person, and I find you very intriguing. You're a character in your own self. You understand what I mean? As I hope, guys, for those who didn't watch part 1 of the show, go to the YouTube and please catch the last episode of part 1 that we did with Sacrinos, because this guy has so much personality and character, and plus I love your outfits.
Asante,
because you know, Art of Living is all about everything. The look and feel of the space, and also how you look. Talk to me about your look first.
Asante, you see, in philosophy we say imitation is suicide. So the moment you are imitating another person, you deny them a chance to experience who you are.
Okay.
So I try to be myself. So my outfit, I like African wear. Now this totem stick has a story, a quick story.
It's called a totem stick.
Yeah, it's emblematic of the things that matter to me.
All right.
Now this represents my family. How so? So there was a time we were doing this custody thing where you have the children for a few days, then you return them to the mother and that. And during play, the stick broke. My kids were playing with it, the stick broke. And I was unable to be angry because I said, even if I'm angry, I still need to drive all the way and take them back and then drive back again angry just because a stick broke. So I said, no. So I took a shoelace from my kiatu and then I tied this together and I said, from this day, this is the thing that is so real to me because it reminds me of my children. So I said the lower part will represent my firstborn. And the upper part, because they are broken here, will represent the secondborn. And the string will represent my role in their life, the corrective role of a father, and tying everything together. So this represents my life.
That is genius.
Asante. It ties down to what we said down there, that it is up to man to impart meaning. All these things are waiting for us. They are dead rocks, dead wood, dead everything. So when you impart meaning, they become alive.
I agree.
Asante. Yep.
Talk to me about this space. It has lots of parts. I believe has lots of meaning to you.
This library is my favorite place in this house.
Okay, why?
Because of knowledge. I love reading. I love knowledge.
All right.
In my phone, I have about 800 books.
Okay.
And then that I read according to my
800
instincts.
Books.
About 800 in my phone.
All right.
And the physical copies of those books, the ones that I find interesting, are here.
Okay.
These are books everyone reads. Like if you go to the library, you want to read autobiographies about money. These are popular best-selling authors. I cannot tell you that this particular book really changed my life. But there's one book, it's not here, it's called The Beginning of Infinity.
Okay.
It formats your brain. That is a book, it formats how you look at the world because it gives you new lenses to look at the world. And then these ones now, they fill in the small pieces of the puzzle.
And there's something about reading that taps into part of our brains. And because of the social media, the digital platforms that has distracted so many people not to read, I want you to encourage our viewers to go back. Personally, I love books.
Like just picking a book about William Shakespeare,
Yeah.
and reading Othello or something.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Yes.
You can't social media this.
I agree.
You can't. So
Yeah.
that's the thing about real books.
Yes.
Because when they switch off the internet or
Yeah.
something happens to your data,
Yeah.
or you go broke or something,
Yeah.
you will still have the books with you.
Agreed.
And you see, all problems of man, someone said,
Yeah.
arise because he's unable to sit still by himself and just read books or study or be calm with his own thoughts. So in your house, if you build your house and you do not put in things that you love, you will only be doing like donkey work, because if there's nothing in it, if you like cooking, your kitchen should be the most important space.
Yeah.
And you should have books with recipes and different culinary art and stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm a man of books, so I prefer knowledge. So these are books, I have separated them. These are common books, okay? And then these are the uncommon books. These ones, like the Black Jews, a history of Africa, a Bantu, the mystery legend. This one traces the history of the Kalenjin to Egypt.
Interesting.
So you see, unless you go deep into these things, you're not different from a man who doesn't read.
Agreed.
And learning is permanent. So there's a quote I like about all these things that ties it together, by the philosopher Karl Popper. And he said that the only important thing, I'm paraphrasing, is to fall in love with a problem and then investigate it and then solve it. But after you solve that problem, it will give birth to children problems. And then now you are with the children problems.
Yes.
And once you deal with those problems, there will be the grandchildren problem.
Yes.
And this process is endless.
Yes.
That's the only true way to science.
Yeah.
So as a man who is inquisitive,
Yeah.
I investigate, I check the history of Africa, then I check the history of the Kipsigis, then I check the history of my mother, then I check the history of my genes.
Yes.
And
what has that, what did that reveal to you, the person
what it does,
today?
What it does, it reveals...
No, for you.
For me...
What did it reveal, the person whom we are seeing today, we are getting to hear?
It makes me a true copy of myself.
Okay.
I'm not another person. I am. It's me, I am, you see.
Okay.
Because then it reveals who you actually are. So the books is a gateway into the libraries of the best brains that man has ever produced. Because you see, I intend this house to be a library beyond my life.
Wonderful.
Okay.
And for some reason, it feels like it.
Yes.
I'm seeing Genius Lab, the towering ceiling with all the art.
And this is useful art.
This
is useful art, and I'll give you an example.
Okay.
But before I give you an example, so there are sections in this library.
Yes.
There's a shoe rack there. Instead of having another standalone shoe rack.
Yeah.
So there's a shoe rack.
Yes.
Then there are the books that everyone reads. My sons can read this, my visitors. And then there are the drawings, which are also part of the library.
Okay.
More drawings can go in here.
Yes.
And then we have reference materials and all that. Then these are the books very few people read.
Okay.
Like written about, like, for example, African culture, about the Black history and all that. Then we have my diaries, the diaries I kept. Because this story is about where I lived and what I lived for.
And who you are.
And who I am.
Yes.
So like in my diary, when I was still having a landlady in Langata, I'll show you. In this diary, I wrote something very interesting, okay? This diary has a, let me just show you. It has a, I write a lot, okay?
Okay.
I often run out of diaries before the year ends.
Interesting.
So I wrote that when we speak...
You're a reader and a writer, so you need to write your own book.
You have to document your own thoughts. And the thing is, the thoughts that come to you, it's called revelation knowledge. And this is the knowledge that is revealed to you.
Yes.
They are the ones that order your steps.
Yes.
Then there is the book knowledge,
Yes.
which came to other people.
Yes.
You can benefit from their thoughts.
Yeah.
And then there is the knowledge that has to be revisited because of their wisdom.
Yeah.
Because the truth does not expire.
True.
So history is important because you can't go into the future
without knowing your history.
without knowing your roots.
Yes.
So this diary,
Yeah.
I wrote something here that could be of benefit.
Okay.
It's a random page. It
All
says,
right.
when we speak, the sentences easily make themselves. If your vision is clear, the building will make itself, whether you are an ordinary person or a builder. And that's the whole inspiration for this house.
Interesting.
That-
I like that. Let's pause Sala.
Yes.
Seller or seller.
Seller.
Seller. Let's pause that.
That if your vision is clear,
If your vision is clear,
the building will spring to life.
yes.
Just like a farmer. If I know this is
Yeah.
these are the seasons, I need to
Yes.
plant maize, and I plant the maize, you will see it come to bloom. The same act of building is a living act. So if the vision is clear,
Yeah.
so you should really have that clarity of thought when you're designing or building your house.
Yeah.
So that's much about the library.
Okay.
This is a house I built for General Ogola in Twala.
Oh.
Yep.
What?
Yeah, this is General
What a
Ogola's house
stunning
in Twala, Rongai.
My goodness.
Yep. And
This is, we honor him.
we honor him.
Yeah.
A good man.
Yes.
A great son of Kenya.
Yes.
Now, when you look up here,
Yeah.
these are the summaries of my philosophies, and they are personal.
Okay.
And they tell my story again.
Yeah.
So this is a photo of me in my youth, in the street, full of life, vibrant. But as time goes, I will
Yes.
be remembered as a piece of art. A man with a stick
Okay.
and a heart and a beard.
Oh.
Just like we remember this Egyptian
Okay.
or another person.
Okay.
So every day as I come from downstairs,
Uh-huh.
I remind myself as I walk up that one day I will walk beyond where my feet cannot go.
So you live your life to the fullest. Every second, every minute
If
matters.
I was to complete this artwork, there will be a photo of me as a toddler here and a photo of me in primary school. But now I do not have those photos because I think photography was at a low stage when I was growing up.
Yes.
That's why I document all the stories of my children's lives.
Amazing.
Because you can only connect the dots by
After,
looking
back.
back.
I believe that. And
Now-
I think this comes at a time when it's the beginning of the year. I know January is about to end, but documenting, writing, reading your history gives you so much clarity of where you're going, where you've come from, and gives you a vision.
And even the power to say no. Because you see, if you don't understand yourself,
Yes.
you will even say yes to things which you don't need to say yes to.
Absolutely.
So the artwork here,
Yes.
quickly, this is a library.
Okay.
So this art is about leverage. Now, most of these are thoughts from philosophers I follow on Twitter and respect, like Naval Ravikant. Like he says, knowledge, when you apply it, that's leverage. So if I don't apply this knowledge, it's useless.
Okay.
That is the meaning of that one.
All right.
This one means this is a space to upgrade the brain. So always upgrade your brain. This one means if you play stupid games, you will win stupid prizes. So be careful which games you play. This one means that don't be too rigid.
Okay.
Don't be too stiff like a hole in a golf course. Because life is what happens in between. This is from Seneca. We suffer more in our imagination than what is actually happening. So tone down, relax.
I like this a lot.
Put things in
Where
their
did you get this
context.
genius idea from?
It's the whole process of digesting this knowledge. Then you pick out one thing, then you
love
put it there.
Never
and then
seen
it
such
inspires you.
brilliant idea as much as this. I love it. I love it. And just continue.
And there's a star there. So there is a triangle there. Now the ladder threatened the life of the painter. So we say don't paint then. Don't lose your life because you're painting my philosophy. So we just drew one triangle, he fell. Then
He
said,
fell?
Yeah.
My
But
goodness.
we told him, tulimsugua na robe kidogo.
Oh my
Tukamwambia
goodness.
pole. So a triangle plus another triangle equals a star. which means if you combine things that you're not supposed to combine, the sum of the parts is greater than the ingredients. So in this library, this is a checkered plate. These were scaffolding chumas that have been made to become like balusters. These are a peacock in form of art. There's a timber piece there. And now when you see this is concrete mixing with timber and chuma, when they come together, what do you have? It's a star. So combine things you're not supposed to combine.
Yes.
Because that's when life happens. You have a lady and a man, and then you have a family. Now, you can't have a family alone. So it's in the combination of things that are opposites.
Yes.
The yin and the yang and the cold and the
pieces that
hot.
you put together.
Yes.
So your home, in other words, is a living, and it continues to evolve.
It's a living thing.
And when I look at that side, I see you're yet to complete your philosophy.
It's incomplete.
Yes.
And there's there's an unwritten story there that a man fell while trying to paint. So,
this is so intriguing, guys. I love this. I think you're a brilliant storyteller.
Thank you.
And somebody should just pick you and do a story on you as a movie, because truly, I think over and above it being art of living,
I think it also comes
everything is breathing. Every piece in this home tells a story, and there's something magical about it.
Asante.
Yeah.
I hope it inspires someone to just be true to themselves.
And while we are at it, is just to remind people that every piece here is improvised.
And if it doesn't have meaning, it should be burnt. Because it's occupying space for what now? Now this shelf, I sketched it in my diary again. I didn't want to make them uniform.
Yeah.
I wanted some variance. That's why this is not in the same line with this.
Okay.
Because if you can sketch it, you can build it. So that's why it looks like that.
Okay.
And I used to make furniture, so you can see this. So the thing is this. I said in the previous part that if you surround yourselves with the things that you like, one day you will wake up and find, and that day is called the morning of the day.
Yes.
Because you see, the way the scripture says that the path of the righteous is like shines brighter.
Yes,
so when will it be brightest? Is when when all your dreams come true.
Yes.
And when you've mastered the principles in the books you love.
Yes.
When you understand everything about investing, about freedom, about African history, about architecture.
Yeah.
You see, once you come to that place, which will be a high point, it will be the highest point in your life.
Yes.
It will be the city.
Towering like this ceiling. And there's something magical about having high ceiling, because you're a quantity surveyor, you're a contractor, you build.
Yep.
Talk to me benefits of having high ceilings. There's something very unique and intriguing about even just the layout of your space. And we're going to go to the other spaces. That space, you're going to talk to us about
the Terrace of the Beloved.
Yes. Talk to me about just even us being here and downstairs. I know we had a container that you've combined to create this staircase.
And then
so for the benefit of people who didn't watch last episode.
So I will recap quickly. Thanks for the reminder.
Yeah.
There are 3 advantages to building a shipping container house.
Yeah.
So where we are standing is where what I was saying, that the void of a pot emerges. The potter does not build the void of the pot. So when you're buying every pot, you're also buying the air inside the pot, the void.
True.
But the potter only does the other side. So where that wall is on top of a container.
Yes.
So there's
this wall
is on top of a container.
And in terms of weights,
it's structurally designed.
Safety.
There's a beam. There's a beam running all the way.
Okay.
A beam is an element that ties all the parts of a house together.
Okay.
So the wall rests on the beam.
Okay.
Then the beam transfers the weight to the foundation. But the benefit of the container, you must use the top. That's why we have a staircase.
Okay.
But I talked about contained space. So if I was just to build this wall alone from the foundation all the way 6 meters high, and not even do the master bedroom and the kids' bedroom, we would have gained this space without doing anything. So the only thing we would need to do is to introduce a midsection. Remember the dining space?
Yes.
Where you're standing,
Yeah.
below is the dining space.
Yes.
But I gained this library.
Yes.
I gained this wall. I gained where this void.
Yes.
This is the void, the portal.
And I love the space. I love the textures, the character, and the personality that it gives.
Asante.
It's
Asante.
very authentic and very different for people who love unfinished, because it gives you unfinished feeling, and I love
when
it.
you build the house,
Yeah.
don't hide everything.
Yes.
Don't hide everything. So
Yeah.
the ribs that
Yes.
hold the roof
Yes.
give you a sense of
Yeah.
solidity. When
Yes.
you see the bolts, how the roof is held together with the
Yes.
bolts.
Yes.
So you don't need to hide your
Yeah.
your
How high
trusses.
is this ceiling?
So it's like 7.2 meters high.
Okay. Is
So
it above average?
there is ordinarily most houses are like 2.7 meters high.
Okay.
So above the roof,
Yeah.
there's eco tiles.
Okay.
These are recycled plastic tiles.
Okay.
But the point is,
Yeah.
when you look at a person, when you look at a person standing, there's proportionality.
Okay.
So this roof, the way I designed the roof is by saying this is midsection. When you do your hands like this, this part is equal to this part. So these parts are equal,
Okay.
then that part is equal,
Okay.
and then when you do this, those parts are smaller. That's how that roof pattern is.
I like that.
So the variation of the roof
Yes.
adds beauty to the house.
I like that.
Okay.
So this year, I want to remind our viewers, we are all going to invest, create, and own our own spaces.
Amen.
And this has been a great inspiration for all of us who want to have a space that's unique, that's different, with sustainable and improvised materials. We're gonna go to the next space for us to have a look at how he lives with birds, guys. These guys, it never ends. Come with me. Welcome back to Scene 2, Part 2 of Improvised Architecture, featuring the one and only Sopranos.
Mjengo.
Mjengo.
Karibu sana. Now we are at the Terrace of the Beloved.
Before we go anywhere,
Yes.
we are at the Terrace
Terrace
of
of the
Beloved. And
Terrace
what's
of the
so
Beloved.
outstanding about this place is these people. Look at this.
That's Jaja.
Look at that.
That's me.
Isn't that just amazing and gorgeous? I love it. How did you achieve this?
The last act of building is decoration. That's what we said.
Yeah.
So every year, I try to change the artwork.
Is this your face?
It's my face. It's a representation of my face by an artist called Victor Mwangi.
I like it.
And it represents the force in my life, okay? There are two lines there, one from an eye, another one from a clock.
Okay.
The one from the eye is longer, like a graph. It says, your vision is more important than the hours you put in. So anyway, welcome to the Terrace of the Beloved. Why am I calling it Terrace of the Beloved?
This, you know, you just give us a few minutes on this, but I just like the colors, the personality, the character it brings out. It's completely magical.
Does it look like me or is another person? So what it means is the wall is fixed, but there's something variable about the wall. You can use it and change the art and change the mood of the space. So
there you go, people. Isn't it just so cool? I think this is one of the spaces I've been to where I've seen somebody who's done this. I like the tip and this hack where you can use your wall and create something as beautiful as this. It's colorful
So on the day,
and brilliant.
On the day my son will be wearing a spacesuit,
yeah.
we will have him here.
Okay.
Because there will be no greater event in my life than to see my son come to the vision of his life.
Oh, wow.
So we will have
the wall of fame.
Yeah.
This is the wall of fame.
This is the...
They are downstairs we had 2 walls.
We have 2 walls. There is the wall of the achievements, the gallery of the beloved.
Yes.
Now we are at the terrace of the beloved.
Yes.
And here we are featuring the most important person of the year.
Eish.
For now, I'm the one.
Hey. What a beautiful way of celebrating yourself.
When I get a Nyakisumu, her face will go there. When my son graduates, his face will go there. And we will honor people like that. You must honor the gifts in your life and the people in your life. That's the whole point.
But usually people are very shy about certain things. To just have something like this in their spaces.
My neighbor bought the land because he said he went looking at other pieces of land. And he said, I want to buy that land next to that house that is artistic.
I like that.
This face is also a face of confidence.
There you go, people. This year we have to be confident.
And as you pass and you look at the terrace of the beloved, you're like, you have to live your life
to the fullest and celebrate you and the achievement as well.
Too much about the painting. Now, the terrace of the beloved, again, is a continuation of the spaces below.
Yes.
Remember, we spoke about the privacy gradient.
Yes.
That the most private space in a house is the one that is farthest from the point of entry, which is the gate.
Yes.
So if you do 2 gates in your boma, you have compromised the privacy gradient of your house. Now, at the ground level, that will be the farthest room from the gate. But when you go upstairs, there's more privacy than the ground floor because it takes more time for someone to come up. Now, when you're at the terrace of the beloved, this is where I would like to host my friends and sing a song. But since we are not musicians, we don't sing a song.
But you love rumba.
Since we're not musicians.
But sing one for those who missed. Are you singing? We just need to give him a microphone for him to perform for us part 2 of the rumba music. He's so passionate
there's something
about
I want to say. That since we are not musicians, so we cannot sing a song. So what we do, we song a sing. We song a sing. So this is when we are here, we song a sing.
Yes.
And then everyone is happy. And the thing about shared spaces like this, so when you're buying a built house, they sell for you a balcony that is like 2 meters by 4 meters.
Yes.
When you build the shipping container, you have a terrace that is 8 meters long.
So we are on top of
we're on top of a shipping container.
Interesting. Okay.
The floor finish is epoxy paint.
Okay.
And this space, what I said, that when you increase the width, remember a container is 2.4 meters.
Yes.
When you make it 3.2, by adding an extra meter or 1.2, now you can dance.
Yes.
Now you can host people.
Yes.
Now you can have a display of building materials and house models like this one. So this model you see is showing us practically that when you have a container and another container, you gain the space in the middle. Okay? So you can see from this model, if I can show you. So when you have one container and another container, you gain the space in the middle.
Yes.
And the only thing you need to do is to roof it.
Okay.
So that is the contained space. Then inside the container is another useful space. But what about the top? So if you do not create a staircase to access the top, you are losing.
Unbelievable.
So if you build a small house, then you don't get the third benefit, which is using the top and using the adjacent space. And even if you do the formation such that this container is an L shape, the space you gain then will be the right angle in the middle. And also you can put them in a diverging position so that they meet at the back and they diverge from each other. Then that whole middle part becomes like your lounge space or your whatever it is. So you can see these benefits don't come until you sit with the idea long enough to say, wait a minute, what about if I do it like this? Now, that's enough.
You are a quantity surveyor, a contractor, and hence why I see your knowledge on this kind of expertise is so profound.
Because you do mathematics, so you have to sit with the model.
Yes.
Remember what I said about Karl Popper and falling in love with the problem?
Yes.
So you sit with the problem of turning a shipping container into a house.
Yes.
And then these ideas pop.
Yeah.
But you will need an architect to tie the concept together.
Yes.
You will need an engineer to know how will the weight of the building firmly be grounded on the foundation. You need a structural engineer for that.
Okay.
Then you need a quantity surveyor because every project must be built within the cost. And even if there's a variation, you need to tell the client how much do they need to dig deeper into their pocket. And then you need also good thinking. It's called good design thinking. Because without good design thinking, you will have a building which is called a misfit. What is a misfit? So there are three things. There is the form, which is the house or the design solution. Then there is the context, which means the set of problems you're trying to solve. For example, I want to raise my kids. They need a playroom. I need to cook. I need a bakery. I need my husband likes brewing stuff. He needs a dark room. You see, those problems you're trying to solve. I love Roomba. I need a space to dance. I like birds. You see, there's a bird resting over there. So these problems, how do I solve these problems for myself, for my visitors, for the birds, for my dog? So that's the context. So the form is the house. Then the context is the set of problems you're trying to solve. In the middle is what we call a fit. If the context matches the form, that's a good fit. So this house is a good fit for me. But it is a bad fit as a hospital, for example. It is a bad fit for maybe a school. It's a bad fit for someone else who is not.
This is tailored to you.
Perfect. So if you want to build the perfect house for yourself, you need a good form, context, fit.
Form, context, fit.
The form is the solution or the house. The context is the set of problems and the set of forces you're trying to reconcile.
And we've seen that you've done such a fantastic job because even up here, he's also built a laboratory for his kid. Which, my goodness, whoever thinks like that? We all get playrooms and stuff like that, or maybe study room, but hey, you're bringing up a what? A scientist or what?
An astrophysicist. And the thing is this. This terrace of the beloved, if it was only for me, that would have been selfish. So initially, I separated a small portion, about 4 meters deep. Okay? And originally it was to be a prayer room. It was for a prayer warrior. So the prayer warrior, when the sun is rising, the prayer warrior would thank God for the morning. And as the sun is setting, there's light. There are 2 windows letting in light. Thank you, God, for the end of the day. But then I told my son, please write a composition about what you would like to become. And something popped out of that composition. I have it. He said he was sleeping and he dreamed that he is transporting things to space. Back and forth. Then he woke up. I looked at that and I said, this is the prayer. So this goes to the prayer room. So we turned it now to be a lab for my son. So the beloved has a lab. So on that year that he wrote the composition, I gave him a periodic table here on the terrace of the beloved. He received his gift as the gift when I first knew. You see, children are gifts. Children are born in another time. And we don't know what gifts they are. So every child is a packaged gift. And you can't tell the gift until maybe 10, 11, 12, 14 years. Then you're like, this man is a musician. So he's a boy, he's a child. But inside him is a musician. Inside him is an artist or an evangelist or something. There are no ungifted people. There are people who neglect their gift, but there are non-gifted people.
Yeah.
So even as you build your house, you observe the members of your family.
Yes.
You say, this one likes praying.
And tailor make it and nurture them. I really, really like that. And I think for all of us, I'm getting inspired to also create a space, you know, for my daughter, for example, or you at home for your child. Look at the gifts that they have and build, tailor make it for them so that as they evolve, as they grow, their space is breathing, it's living, and it's growing with your child.
Yeah,
then at that part, you would have played a
good fit. You will have a good form, context fit.
Good form, fit, and context.
So my son wants to be a scientist. So his form, that space, has an incubator. It has a Bunsen burner. It has gas. It has a microscope.
Nice.
It has a periodic table.
Nice.
He can literally make a bomb there or something, whatever. I don't know.
I like that.
It has meters.
I like
so
that.
The context, the form answers to him.
My
musician
he's lucky. He's a lucky boy. I'm very blessed.
And me and my second born, we share this space. We like dancing.
Rumba.
He teaches me. He teaches me how to dance. Like this is a style he taught me. He was like, Dad, can you do this? I was like, yeah. It's coming.
It's coming.
The God was also coming. But
so this is his space. this is a Rumba space.
This is a space for me and the beloved.
And the beloved. Okay.
The beloved could be you, could be my visitors, it could be someone who wants to build a house, someone who is bringing a blessing, someone who wants to come and pray for me. We can do it here.
You can do it
The
here.
point is,
build
your house in such a way that you accommodate people. Build for people.
Yes, and yourself.
And for yourself. So don't build saying, a roof like that of the neighbor. What is that? Say that I want this roof to reflect this thought.
Now, when we are talking about roof, we will talk about your bed, because there's something in your bedroom that I found very fascinating. It's permanent.
Now that's the kids' bedroom. That's not my bed. The kids' bedroom. This thing is a reflection of our life. So when I was living in Langata, the unthinkable happened, and suddenly I lost all my household goods that I had gathered in the city for a long time. That's a story for another day. So when I was building... No.
It's just tell us, because people go through hell.
When you go through...
And it's nice to
remind
people, let me tell you, that you can, from dust, from grass to grace.
You can overcome.
You can overcome,
The same way this stick has been reconciled with itself using a string, is the same way I had to reconcile the equations in my life. So when my marriage, which I loved, fell apart, when it fell apart successfully, I lost all my household goods. And I had read some philosophy by a man called Stilbo, who the building burnt and he lost everything he had. And he said this, I still have all my goods with me. So my task as a man was to find the goods that I still had with me and then bring them to life again. So when I was building the bedroom for my children, I said, maybe if I marry again, the lady of the house might decide to carry the bed of my children again. So I say this bed must be welded in situ. So the bed in this house, in my children's bedroom, cannot be moved unless you come with a grinder and you demolish the bedroom. It is one unit. You waste beba. And also a reminder of our story, our shared story. My story is also the story of my children. Because when I was mourning, my children have been carried away. They are the ones who were in the lorry with my goods. So our stories is shared. And we have to rejoice in these sufferings because they keep us from boasting. Because if I want to say, oh, you know, I've had a successful marriage for over 12 years. No, you failed. So these failures, these scars, these injuries, they make us who we are.
Agreed.
And we don't throw away our stories and then present this plastic person. No, we are men walking despite all odds.
Agreed.
So that bedroom, the bed is permanent. It's comfortable, it's permanent. You can't move it. And that also says you cannot pluck my children from my life.
I like that.
Whether they are in London or wherever they will be, I will be with them. They will be here. They will be there. We are all together.
You're a wonderful dad. I must congratulate you for that.
I'm a failed husband, but a good father. So now, let's continue. This chimney is a double chimney.
Okay.
So the same chimney, the smoke from below bypasses this one at the back.
Yes.
So if you light a fire below, it will not come out here.
Okay.
But if you light a fire here, the smoke will meet the one from below in the chimney, chimney stack.
I remember the chimney.
It's exactly the same chimney.
In the living room.
And it is also structural.
Okay.
Because on this side of this is the middle of the container. So it is the midpoint where we've anchored everything else.
Yes,
So it's also a structural member.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah. We want to wrap it up. And as we are wrapping it up, what I have learned from you over and above life lessons and how intriguing, how honest you've been, I think that has taught us a lot, is the improvised materials and sustainable materials that you've used. So for example, let's talk about the roof, let's talk about the floors, let's talk about this, how you've partitioned this.
The papyrus. So
the papyrus, just what materials can you use?
So let me put the philosophy down, because if you understand the principle, you can choose your own methods.
Yes.
So the principle is this.
Yes.
So a building is made up of elements.
Yes.
What is an element? An element is a part of a house that can act on its own.
Yes.
For example, a door is an element.
Yeah.
That is different from a window.
True.
That is different from a wall. That is different from a foundation. That is different from a roof.
Yes.
So that's an element. So every element is made up of parts.
Yes.
For example, a door is made up of like 10 parts. The door hinge, the door leaf, the door stopper, the paint, and etc. So what you do, this is the principle. Every building part or element has a substitute. The substitute could be inferior or superior. It could be good in some aspects or bad in some other. And you can compensate for the weaknesses of one material with another. For example, a container in Limuru would be a cooling box, because the Limuru is very cold. The container will lose a lot of heat because it's made of a metal. And the properties of a metal is that they are good conductors of heat.
Yes.
So it will get very hot on hot days and very cold. So what do you do? You can use wood to cure that problem of the material, because the wood is a poor conductor of heat. So what I'm saying, once you know the thing you want to build, ask yourself, what are the substitutes? This is how a normal person thinks and why it is wrong. They say, I have a problem with mosquitoes. Then they say, what is the last advert I saw that deals with mosquitoes? That's the wrong approach. The innovative approach is to say, I have a problem with mosquitoes. It is a 100% problem. Let us look for the solutions. So you say, mosquito net. How much will the mosquito net solve your problem? 50%, because you only use a mosquito net at night when you sleep, not during the day. Or you don't walk around with a mosquito net. So you write the first solution, mosquito net. The second solution, clearing bushes. The third solution is to change neighborhoods. You could be living next to a dumping site or a pool of a seawall. So the thing is, once you have the set of solutions, you allocate resources on the one that is most beneficial to solve the problem you are facing. So if you're building a house to escape a landlady, then you don't need to build a luxurious house. But if you're building a house to make a statement, or maybe you're building a house for your mother, if you're building a house for your mother, then you don't need to jazz your mother. How can you jazz your mother? She saw you from the day you were born and how you've struggled. So what you do, the form, the context dictates the material, and it dictates how you will build. And your pocket also. Because every house, there's a house at every pricing point. Starting with a tent all the way to a palace.
But, you know, I heard, so I'm going to interrupt. I think also what we can tell our viewers, and just to remind them, just to wrap it up and just summarize it, for example, you've used improvised items. So for example, we've learned about solutions for each problem and substitute.
Okay.
All right?
I give examples.
So roof.
Let me give
what
examples.
Roof have you used?
So for the roof.
Floors, what have you used?
Yes.
Improvised.
So for the roof, let me give an example. For the roof, the most expensive roof right now is a stone-coated roof cover. I don't want to use brand names. I will use the technical reference.
Yeah, yeah.
So stone-coated roof is the most expensive. It comes in many colors. But you can't collect the rainwater and drink. But the cheapest roof that is also aesthetically pleasing is the recycled plastic tile.
Is this what
it is
you've
made
used?
from, yeah, it's what we've used. It is made of, it has polymers.
Okay.
So it is sand mixed with plastic, recycled with some binding element, then you have a tile.
Good.
Now you see, in fact, I was not having money for the roof. There's a man who donated the roof. Now, let's look at that triangle there. It's called the gable. Now, when you're making your fascia board, you have these pieces. Fascia board is, you see at the edge of the roof, there's normally a timber piece. There's that goes around the house, that piece.
Yeah.
So when I wanted to do this fascia board, the normal way people do it is that they have to buy the stone, get a mason, do it with concrete and all that. I said, no. What I'm trying to achieve is to fill that triangle.
Okay.
Why don't I use these off pieces, off cuts, and just nail them there?
Okay.
And the same with that space.
Papyrus? Yes.
I've used the jambi,
Yes.
and I've used the off cuts, the pieces of timber that remained.
Okay.
And by being aware
Yes.
of what you have.
Yeah.
When you're building your house, you should be aware of what you have.
Materials that
You have money,
Yeah.
you have land,
Yeah.
you have junk.
Yeah.
How can you turn the junk and repurpose it? Remember, we said it is for man to dictate the meaning of these inanimate things.
Agreed. I'm seeing tiles behind you. Could you share with me and those models as well as we are wrapping up?
As a builder,
yes.
I show people alternative things they can use to finish their houses.
Okay.
So we have here coral stones. These are all substitutes of each other.
Okay.
And you can use some in some spaces. For example, you can't use coral stone in places that are dusty because the holes, it's porous. So it will collect dirt that you can't clean. You see, so the quality of the material dictates the space it will be used and the way you can use it. Now, there are so many materials that we've not brought to life because we lack meaning.
Okay.
The reason building is expensive is because we have not formed enough meaning to turn these things which are rocks and give them life.
Agreed.
Because the moment you give a material life, like the wood, this was a tree, the moment we say this tree can become the threads of a staircase.
Yeah, so the staircase is a tree.
Is a tree.
And I want to do this again because what you mentioned to me earlier is your home is not complete.
And it will never be complete.
It will never complete. It will only complete when you rest.
It will always be work in progress.
It will be work in progress.
Because even when I'm expired, there will still be unfinished work. There will be unfinished work.
I'll tell you the words this guy has. It's completely wonderful, I must say. But what I'd like to say is thank you.
Asante.
And we've learned so much from you.
I hope someone is inspired.
Mjengo, if you go to Mjengo.
If you go to podcity.co.ke, you will find all my work, my philosophy, the houses I have built, and the way I think. I am an open book.
He's an open book.
If you want to follow my story and the work I do, because I believe that we can create a property-owning democracy, find me at Ujenzibora on X, at PodCityKE on X, or visit my website www.podcity.ke. And my mobile is 0720 578 632. So asanteni sana. I hope I've inspired you to fight harder, to believe in yourself, to own your story, and to live the life God gave you. Because the purpose of building is to live a good life. There's no point of paying such a huge price and then living again a bad life.
Agreed.
Choose your struggle.
Choose your struggles. We've had his story. His home has been built from heart and soul with a sprinkle of innovation. And that wraps our episode tonight, where I ask you, dream, create, and own your own space, because this is an example of how you can create your own space with a sprinkle of innovation. That wraps our show tonight from the crew and our producer. Thank you for watching, and God bless you. If you have that beautiful home that you want us to come and feature, DM me at Miss Nailante on X, on Instagram and Facebook. I'd love to hear from you, and we showcase your wonderful work, just as Sakrinis has shared with us his beautiful space. Thank you so much, and
Asante.
God bless you.
Thank you for coming to visit me.
All
Asante.
right.
I hope you enjoyed. Asante.
No, we
Karibu
enjoyed
tena.
it. We
Karibu
enjoyed
tena.
it.
Asante.
All right.
Okay.
Have a good night.